into him.
Well, I gotta ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you look at the menu something random, but you know some of the stuff that's healthy? Why don't you get it?
Hello everyone. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. I want to introduce you guys to somebody. This is my son, Kayden.
Hey.
He's 11 years old, and it took a while for me to ask him to hop on my channel. Of course, I had to see how he felt about being on the channel, and it's something that I wanted to talk to you guys about, just on awareness issue, just on an awareness plan, from a child to a parent, or a parent to a child, vice versa. So, like I said, this is something that I asked him if he felt comfortable about talking about, or just him being on the channel, period, and he said he was fine with it. So, like I said, again, this is my son, Kayden. He's 11 years old. And what we wanted to talk to you guys about is type 1 diabetes. Kayden was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was 9 years old. Looking back at it,
Horrible.
Yeah, it was horrible. And once the doctor gave the signs and the symptoms of it, I saw it all. I saw it all. And I didn't know what was going on.
You thought I was joking?
Yeah, I actually thought he was joking when the doctor said certain things, and he had voiced certain things to me. I thought he was joking. But yeah, this is just somewhat of a like I said, educational part, from a child to a parent to the child, like I said, vice versa. And just for him to not really reenact his experience, but just to tell you guys what his experience was going through all of this. So it would be questions that I would be asking him. It would be opening up some wounds for both of us, and I know especially for him. So, oh, guys, sorry. Just to talk to you guys, like I said, and especially from a child's point of view, what he was feeling going through all of that, those symptoms, and when it finally came to a head, and it was something that was really devastating. So, again, this is a seafood boil.
So good.
From Raleigh Crab House. Crab legs, shrimp, potato, corn. Very good. And what makes it good is this sauce that everybody has been trying to get from this place, but can't. But anywho.
A magician never tells a secret.
Exactly.
Do we put like this on the side, or what's this for?
Anything you want, what you want to use it for?
I'm gonna put it under.
For the trash. But yeah, so like I said, he was diagnosed when he was 9. He's 11 now. So 2019, 20, 21, 22. He's going on 3 years. In October, it would be 3 years since he had been diagnosed. So, Kayden, you want to tell them how and
The symptoms?
yeah, how you was feeling and stuff? And
Okay, so it first started at my dad's house. I was really sleepy. My mouth was really dry. And when my mom came to pick me up from my dad's job, She said I looked pale. And my lips are real dry. And my dad died because I never wash my face because I normally don't. So when me and my mom got home.
Hold on a second. You guys, when I say Kayden was pale, he was white. Like ashy white. Sorry. He was ashy white. And when he said his mouth was dry, his mouth was so dry that his teeth was so dry, his mouth was so dry that it looked like his teeth was glowing. That's how bad that it was. And I was like, wait a minute. Something ain't right here. And I'm looking at his dad like, you don't see something? Something's wrong with him. And anyway, got home. He kept peeing and peeing and peeing. Drinking and drinking. It was like nothing was quenching his thirst. I know he drank like 15 bottles of water within 30 minutes. And when he would go to the bathroom, he would just peeing for a long time. And I'm sitting there like, what in the world? He would come sit down. He would have to go back and pee again. And then going up the steps, he couldn't make it up the steps. And he had his hand on his chest and he just breathed. He was like, and I'm like, hey, what's wrong with you? He was like, I can't hardly breathe. I'm like, boy, get up and come on up the step. This is where I thought he was playing. And it just looked like the energy was depleted from him. So he went to the bathroom, he peed. After a while, I heard him in the bathroom throwing up. It was just a mess. And at that point, that's when I said, I'm going to take him to the emergency room.
I got a question. Before you actually know what happens like that, do you like throw up once in a while? Before it like comes down real bad, do you like throw up once in a while?
Before what comes down real bad?
Like you start peeing real bad, start drinking real bad. I don't know other stuff.
Well, excuse me, guys. That was your symptoms. That was, the symptoms for you.
Because I remember I threw it at my grandma's house.
That was another thing. When he was down at his dad's house when I was at work, he had threw up down his grandma's house, which is his dad's mom. And, I had to go pick him up as soon as I got off. And because I had to go back that night, but I had to go pick him up because it was Cooper. Because she is a breast cancer survivor, so she thought maybe he was sick or something. She didn't want to catch anything, and I understood that. So I went and picked him up. And come to find out, that was the doctor was telling me, those were the symptoms that was coming up, His pancreas was rejecting any and everything. So it was depleting him. Anything that would go down would come back up. His body was rejecting it. So that was a form and a way of getting rid of, whatever he needed that he was eating to throw it back up. So, how did you feel when?
Felt really tired, felt weak. It was hard to do things because it took like so much energy.
Did you ever feel some type of way?
I thought I was just I thought I was sick, but not like that type of sick. I thought it was something else, but not like that. I didn't think it was that deep.
Yeah. So even when you was down at your dad's house, was you playing or anything, or you was just sleeping because you didn't have energy, or were you trying to play?
I was trying to. I barely couldn't.
What about eating?
I would eat, but like the next day or two, I would throw up.
Mm-hmm. Another thing, guys, another symptom after the doctor had told me was his breath. His breath smelled sweet. He would burp. And his breath would oddly smell sweet, like Jolly Ranchers or something. I'm like, it was funny at the same time, but I'm looking like, what in the world? Now, mind you, in my head while I'm looking at all of this, I'm seeing him, but I'm looking at all of this. I'm in the medical field. Me denying what it could be. Me denying to myself, Kayden doesn't have diabetes. This ain't diabetes. It's something else wrong with him. He ain't got diabetes. Now, on his father's side, diabetes run in their family real deep. His uncle on his dad's side was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when, what?
Like teenager?
Yeah, teenager, like 13 or 14, I think. 12, 13, or 14, one of them.
Around there.
His dad has diabetes. His grandfather on his dad's side has diabetes. And on my side, my aunt has diabetes. So, you know, as I'm not looking at none of that. I'm just denying.
You could have faced the truth.
Yeah, I'm denying in my head what it could be. He doesn't eat now. Now, you guys know the stigma behind diabetes or diabetic people is that all they eat is junk food, all they eat is sweets and stuff like that. This wasn't the case. So that was another factor why I was denying that. In which my stigma behind that has changed because this was not the case with Kayden. He ate very well. Junk food and all that stuff, that wasn't even a factor when it came to him.
You used to cook a lot more.
I used to cook, yeah, I sure did. So, me just looking at all of that and not coming to the realization of what it is. So, let's fast forward when I finally took you to the emergency room.
I did not like that.
So you guys, I had to pick him up, put him in the car. That's how weak he was. And as soon as we got into the emergency room, he threw up. So they immediately sent him back. Now, mind you, this is when COVID and all that stuff was going on. And I think we just had broken into COVID. So I'm telling them what's going on, this, that, and the other. And some nurses, they was looking at each other, and I think they thought it was COVID. But it was a black nurse that came in. And she was asking Kayden questions. Now, mind you, Kayden, at this point, he's out. He's depleted. He's done. This is where the BKA comes in. And I thought my child was gone. When you go into like diabetic.
I did not eat for a couple of days.
Yeah, he was out. So a black nurse came in. She's asking Kayden questions. And as soon as Kayden, because she couldn't hardly hear Kayden, Kayden was whispering because he couldn't hardly talk. She got close to his face to hear him, and she smelt his breath. Then all of a sudden she yelled out, "Check his blood sugar, check his blood sugar." When she did that, his blood sugar was almost 500. And she was like, "Yep, he's a diabetic."
I look like a full one.
Oh, you love it. So I'm standing there, and I wasn't confused, but I was like, "What? You know, how could this be?" Not really how could this be, but I was just like, "No, this, no."
I believe.
Yeah, disbelief, basically.
That was it.
So, I called his dad to let him know. And the first thing he said, "Lord, please don't let it be type 1. And just to show type 1, they hooked him up to an insulin pump. And they life flighted us to, well, no, they took him to Duke. And me and his dad was like in the ambulance right behind him.
I could still remember what happened in the ambulance.
You know, talk about that then.
What happened was I woke up and the nurse said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yes." And she said, "I'm gonna stick this needle in you, okay?" And I said, "Okay." Then I don't remember much what happened next. I don't remember much. I think I went back to sleep.
Because you guys, after that, he was so out of it. He was asleep for 3 days. 3 days straight, Kayden was asleep. We was in the ICU for about 4 days. Then they moved him to the floor. So we went to the floor. And the doctor came around, excuse me. The doctor came around, talked to his dad and I. We got so much, you know, education. Although I know about diabetes and stuff like that, I work with that. But, you know, I told the doctor, you know, talk to me as if I don't know anything. I said, because when I'm at work, that's just you know, what it is that I'm at work and I leave that at work. I have to take this home with me now. So this is my new lifestyle change. I have to take this home with me. So talk to me as if I don't know anything. And, you know, it was a praying moment for me. Although I didn't show it. You know, if anything, I felt more apologetic. I felt sorry for his dad. Because, you know, he took it hard. So, you know, I felt like I had to be somewhat of a calm mind. But when I got to myself, I would go to the bathroom. I would just start crying. I would do my hurt to myself, you know, and you know, I would just, you know, I would be to myself, you know, and I would look over at Kayden in the bed and just, you know, just be wondering, like, you know, why this had to happen to us. But at the same time, I had to ask the question, why not you?
I can see myself through the window.
So, let me ask you this. How did you feel once you came about in the hospital? How did you feel? And then actually finding out and knowing what, you know, yeah.
Talk about at Duke when we got transported.
Yeah, just talk about it all.
I really wasn't really hungry. I was thirsty a little bit sometimes, but I really wasn't really thinking about it. I'll be distracted by the TV or something. But by most of all, I wasn't thirsty. And I just didn't feel no type of way. I just felt normal.
Can I ask you something? Did you understand? Which I really don't think you understood the full, had the full understanding. All you knew something was wrong, right?
Yeah.
No. Okay. Well, let me ask you this then. Now, with dealing with everything now, having better understanding of it now.
How do I feel?
Yeah, how do you feel?
I feel like it's just a normal routine. Wake up, check my blood sugar, take my long-acting, take my insulin, start eating. Basically like a normal routine for me. It's really nothing that I should get worried about. I just feel like it's like a normal routine like I do at school.
But at the same time, you have to, don't you understand the importance and the cautiousness of your diet and all of this stuff? I mean, you guys, he does very well.
Ooh, I got 2 potatoes.
He does very well when it comes to his diet. He does very well when it comes to his insulin, how much to take. It's like he's a radar and understand and knows an estimate of how many units he should take. And not only that, with us counting carbs and stuff like that, what would normally take me about 30 minutes in the grocery store, it takes me about an hour or an hour and a half to shop for groceries, because now I am constantly reading the nutritional guide on everything that I buy now pertaining to him.
Well, I got to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you look at the menu something random, but you know some of the stuff that's healthy? Why don't you get it?
Do I do what now?
Like stuff is healthy for you. Why don't you get it instead of looking at different things that that's unhealthy for me?
Like what?
It could be anything. Candy.
I don't buy you candy.
Where?
Where's candy at?
Rice Krispies. Rice Krispies are candy.
Okay, but you do carbs. And I bought the little mini thing as far as the carbs. You allow 15 grams of carbs per for a snack.
Only 15?
And you pick that out. So if you know, then why don't you say no to it then?
You looked at it and I just said okay. No, you said, oh, look at these, and you looked at the carbs on them.
Yeah.
And
Certain things certain things is you can have.
Like Pop-Tart?
No, I'm not gonna say the Pop-Tarts, that's too much. But certain things you can have. Those Rice Krispies, those are the minis. The mini squares. And that's only about 15 grams of carbs.
Can you give me like the medium ones?
The what?
The medium ones?
What?
Rice Krispies.
So let me ask you this. How you gonna ask me?
Because you look at them.
But at the same, how you gonna ask me why
I
don't
just
I buy
say
anything
okay.
healthy?
I just say okay.
No, but look at what you asked me now.
I just say okay.
Look at what you asked me now.
What that?
You just asked me, can you buy me the minerals? I mean the medium ones?
Cause I look at
Anywho, you guys, my thing is, and what I've learned, you don't have to take away everything. If anything, it's no. I'm not going to cut it out.
Cut it wrong.
If anything, what I've learned was, everything has to be portioned out now. And in the beginning, I was a total wreck. He was eating the same thing day in, day out. Especially when we was in the hospital and I saw what they was preparing him. I was fixing him the same thing because I was counting carbs. I was on it. Counting carbs. Then I hired a chef to cook him meals. I did like 30 days of lunch and dinner for him. Just 30 days worth of meals. And after my 30 days was up, I just looked at what he was preparing and I just started, preparing those things and tweaking it myself. And even with that, when we would go to his endocrine doctor for his appointments and stuff like that, talk to nutritionists. And I had all of these questions. Kayden, stop.
I'm trying to get your soap.
Well, you don't have to do that.
That's the
Break the
easy way.
shell. And when we was talking to the nutritionist, she was looking at me and she knew I was a total wreck. I was a wreck. She was like, "You're overthinking it. Calm down. You're just overthinking everything." And I was. Because working in the medical field, like I said, I'm looking at all of these adults who coming in with diabetes, not listening to the doctors, eating what they want to, go out there and get sores. First they lose a toe, then they lose their foot, then they lose part of the leg, then they lose the other leg. So, I don't want that for him, but at the same time, I know as I go along, while he's young, to educate him on, No. Did you eat one?
Yeah, I had two.
This carb, right? I'll give you half of this one.
Okay.
To educate him because I'm not always going to be around, So he does very well. When he was first diagnosed, a little bit down the line afterwards, I would get phone calls from his teachers saying how, they're very shocked at how knowledgeable he was. And, certain things he was like, "I can't eat that," So although I fix him lunch, certain little things they have at school before a test or something like that, and they would give everybody a piece of candy and he would know he can't eat it unless it's sugar free. Or, if he have to count the carbs or whatever, he just won't eat it. He'll just say he don't want it. And he just remembers how he felt when he got sick. And he don't want to, go back to that part. So is there anything you want to tell me as a parent, or tell everybody out there as a parent who might be dealing with this, a child that has diabetes
No.
You don't have nothing to tell them? So whatever a parent is, not knowing what's going on, or they see the signs, like I saw the signs, and I thought you were playing.
Don't wait until it's too late.
Right.
And don't get nervous at the first try.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's how you mess up.
Yeah. So, Kayden has an insulin pump, an Omnipod. Sometimes he wears it sometimes he don't. He has a Dexcom. Sometimes he wear it, sometimes he don't. So right now we're in the process of gotta get some more. But it's a life-changing event for me. Like I said before, and I'm sure it is for him too, because you want to protect your child. And I hate that, you know, he has to go through this or live through this, but at the same time, you know, he can do it. And just the normalcy of me letting him still continue to be that and not shadow him all the time. And I think that's where me...
Well, I have done that before. I have done that. Been there without you. Like when I went to a dirt bike track.
Yeah. That's why I said it with, you know, I'm not going to be there all the time. So that's where my comfort come in, where we have to educate and, you know, see that they understand, in which I know he does. He understands, because as time go on, it's, you know, it's something new you learn all the time. It's something new or something else, or, you know, just something different. And, you know, I'm just, you know, thankful that he understands now at the capacity that I know he needs to be at for me to, you know, be able to freely let him go, you know, if I'm not there. Even if I'm not there, I make sure he packs, you know, snacks in case his blood sugar low. If he got and I make sure he has all his supplies. And he even does that too. He knows to do that. Because in the beginning, when it first happened, I didn't want him to go down his dad's house because I was angry at him because, you know, he didn't see what I saw, and he was down there the whole weekend. But at the same time, you know, I can't fault him for that, you know. I feel like I have something to do with it also, because it was some signs that was here too when he was here at home. So, you know, we're dealing with it. He's dealing with it. He's doing very well, like I said. And it's just a life-changing adjustment for all of us. You know, not only that, it's just, you know, even just being more healthier. You know, it's a good thing.
Because
So
you know you're gonna live longer instead of eating junk food.
Yep.
And if you eat junk food, you know you're hurting yourself slowly.
Yeah, not just junk food, you guys. It's just, you know, us eating, just putting the wrong things in our body, period. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be junk food. Just putting the wrong things in our bodies, period. It's fine. Us having to try out new things. Like for me, I've never, now mind you, my grandparents raised me, but I never had eaten squash and zucchini before. Now mind you, my grandparents cooked it, but I never ate it. I would sneak it up under the table and give it to the dog, or I'll sneak it up under the table and hold it in my hand until I went to the bathroom
That reminds me of a
and
story.
flushed it.
I used to stuff the zucchini in my
Get my chair.
Anyway, I just remember every time my mom cooked zucchini, I stuffed it in my mouth, went to the bathroom, spit it out in the toilet, and flushed it.
I know. That's why I tell him now to swallow it before he get up. Whatever you got in your mouth, swallow it.
You know it's a trick. You can swallow it, but it's still up there.
But why would you even go through all of that?
If you don't like it.
But anywho, yeah, you guys, I just wanted to introduce you guys to my baby, and not only just, you know, don't touch the pillow, Kayden, your hands.
My hands are good.
No, it's not. But not only just introduce you guys. Hold on. Not just to introduce you guys, just, you know, throw in a little educational fact. Not just educational, but just to tell you a little bit about him. Because I had to make sure that he was comfortable with him being on the channel every now and then, even if it's just a glimpse, or if he was, you know, he was out eating and, you know, him checking his blood sugar, although I would, you know, take that out or whatever the case may be, but I still just wanted to check with him to see if he was okay with us making a video about this journey that we are currently in with his, you know, his health and stuff like that. So I'm glad you decided and you said yes. And you guys, look forward to be seeing Kayden on some more videos of mine.
Make my own YouTube of mine.
Oh, and my baby's making his own YouTube channel also. He has one. He's into cars and everything. Cars, motors, games, whatever the case may be. And he's somewhat dabbled in it, but, you know, YouTube. But matter of fact, he was in it before I was. And I will put in a couple of clips of him doing his little videos and stuff like that for his channel. But anywho, you guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. And just going on this life journey with me. So this is me, Terkeisha Whitley, in real life. And this is my baby, Kayden. So you guys have a good evening and bye-bye. So you guys, I just wanted to come back and reiterate a little bit about Kayden and his type 1 diabetes. And you guys, this might be an eyesore because I know it is for me. Get some of this aloe vera. And for those of you who don't know, I don't know if I said in a previous video, I get laser hair removal, and I got burnt because I did not shave. So the objective is, when you get laser hair removal, you have to shave, because the laser is to burn the follicles so the hair won't grow back. So I did not shave, so therefore it did not burn the follicles. It burnt my skin and the hair that had grew here back. So that's how I got burnt. She zapped me like 3 times, and immediately it felt different. I could even smell the skin burning. So she just said, you know, I can't do no more, because all I'm going to do is burn your skin, and it burnt my skin. But anyway, so I'm just back to just reiterate a couple of things that wasn't, you know, fully explained with Kayden with his type 1 diabetes. And he didn't want to really talk about it anymore. You know, as parents, when our kids get sick with certain things, well, and I'm going to speak for me. When Kayden got diagnosed with diabetes, and then when I got to the root of everything and understood it from the doctors and stuff like that, you know, we kind of play a rewind in our minds when it comes to our child being sick. Is there anything that I could have done different? All of the signs were there when the doctor was telling me the symptoms and stuff like that. So with Kayden, it's his sugar, well, your sugar, also known as the carbohydrates that comes from the foods that we eat. And it's digested and it's circulated through our blood, and in the form of glucose. So it causes the pancreas to produce insulin. And in Kayden's instance, his pancreas does not work anymore. So he's not able to produce any insulin. You know, with insulin, we need energy and stuff like that. So we need our pancreas to work in order for us to get throughout the day in order for him to get through meal to meal. So the insulin in the blood cells, like I said, his pancreas doesn't work anymore. So therefore, he has to be injected with insulin, not just before meals. He also has to have a long-acting insulin also. So with that, once all of this was explained and educated to me, yes, of course, I got nervous, I got scared, I got upset, I got hurt. Mainly, I got upset. I got upset with myself because, like I said, I started to rewind all the way back from when he was a baby. When Kayden was a baby, he was huge. So not only was he, I wouldn't say he was born big. He was only maybe about 8 pounds. He was 8 pounds, 12 ounces. But maybe like at 4 or 5 months old, Kayden was huge. He was a big baby. And I look back and I say, was it something that I did? With that notion, I had started putting cereal in his milk. Then I look back at when he first started school, because I always cook breakfast for my kids before they go to school. I look back at stuff like that. What was it that I was cooking or something like that? Or, it was just blaming myself, basically. So I still have the blame game with myself, but I am dealing with it and stopping to just take it for what it is, and we learn differently through this and just have a better eating lifestyle at this point. So in the video, Kayden had said something about me, I used to cook more. So with me cooking more, that right there even got me nervous. I'm like, was I cooking too much? Was he eating too much? Was he doing this? Was he doing that? And I had started to lean back as far as cooking like I used to. But I am looking into things. I'm like I said it before, but the nutritionist said that I am overthinking everything. The only thing is that she would say, which is a no, is that I give Kayden sodas. And of course I wouldn't do that, but if anything else, it's just all about proportions. So I don't want to take stuff from him fully away, but at the same time, I am going to start us having meals more like we used to. Because, like I said, I stepped away from that a lot because I thought it was something that I was doing. So, it was from what the doctor was going to, from what the doctor was telling me, it was going to happen sooner or later. So it wasn't nothing that I was doing wrong. It wasn't anything that his dad was doing wrong. Just looking at the history of, of everything, it was going to happen sooner or later. So, like I said, we're living with it. We're coping with it. It's a lifestyle change for us right now, which is, I hate to say it's good on his expense because of what have happened, but I don't know. I don't want to say that. Here I go again. About to get upset with myself, but I don't want to say that. But we are eating and doing things better. Not just for not just for him, but for ourselves also. So, my oldest son was telling me, don't take that normalcy away from him. So, like I said, I don't overthink anything anymore with it when it comes to, I'm lying. I do. I'm cautious with everything when it comes with him, his diabetes. But I guess this is where the education with him, being so young and learning early, with the type 1. So with his type 1, like I said, I didn't say it, but he will be forever insulin dependent. The only way to solve this problem is to get a a transplant. I'm sorry, a pancreas transplant to get another pancreas. So, and you know, that's from what the doctors tells me, that's really not necessary. He could live a healthy, normal lifestyle if he's just educated like he's supposed to, and we do like we supposed to. So I'm in a Facebook group, type 1 diabetes, parents with type 1 diabetes, kids with type 1 diabetes. And it is so informational, questions answered, everybody coming together, meals, you know, if something, you know, life-threatening happens, the group is there for support, and I love it to death. We have a couple of parents in there that does like meal prepping, and they have their own channels, and we go over there and we, you know, subscribe to those channels and look at the certain meals that they're cooking, and you know, the blood sugars are in range. You know, it's something to deal with, but at the same time it's doable. So I'm going to say to all my parents with type 1 diabetes, children, or just living with type 1 diabetes themselves, there's ways for us to live with this issue and make this lifestyle change. You know, with my son, I choose life for him. So that means any means necessary that what I have to do to make that happen so he can live a long, productive life. So that being said, you guys, I hope you guys have a good night. I hope you have a good evening, or you have a good morning wherever you are. So again, I'm going to end this with this. Please like, subscribe, and share. Good night, everybody. Bye.